If you've heard it, so have we.
If you hate it, we probably do too.
If you like it, we'll see.
But either way, we've heard it all.
Hey, girl.
Hi.
How's it going?
You know what? We're doing good. This is actually a good week.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You know what? I was about to say, like, I've just been bored. I feel like media has not been stimulating in the same ways, but I think it's about to be. It's about to be award season, Oscar bait season. I'm ready. Wicked's about to come out. I'll be fine.
I know. You know what? I have been feeling stimulated. I went to the movies twice this weekend.
Ooh, what'd you see?
I don't think I told you this, but like first I saw Die My Darling.
Die My Love.
Is it Die My Love? I've been saying Die My Darling, but I think that's because
Die My Love. What did you think of it?
So I really liked it. While I was watching it, I did not feel that way. When I was watching it, I was like, this is very slow. Like, I really liked a lot of it, but it felt kind of slow and kind of repetitive.
Okay.
But once the movie ended, I was kind of like, whoa. Okay. That was really heavy. Okay. And then I got home and cried about it. Okay. And the more I sat with it, the more I really liked and appreciated it.
Okay, because I'm seeing it this weekend, and the review that, like, usually, like, I see both ways, but everyone has said the same thing of, like, it doesn't get to the places it needs to go to, and Jennifer Lawrence does what she can with what she's given.
And I think I would agree with that, but I think it is supposed to be a little ambiguous and, like, not hard-hitting in one way or the other. Okay. And that was where I think I was struggling with it, but the more I sat with it, the more I really liked it and thought it was devastating.
Because it feels like a movie that I would like.
I think you'll like it. I'm curious to see, like, how you immediately take away from it.
Yeah. I also am curious to see it along with If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, the movie with Rose Byrne. Yeah. Because once I watch those, there's probably a whole thing we could talk about.
Yeah, I think so too.
The anti-motherhood movies I've seen recently of just actually, not anti-motherhood, but like the horrors of it in those movies. Because I think one of my friends went to go see If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You and was saying that it was just like horrifying.
Yeah, I need to see that. It's like, I would love to see... I think it's really interesting in conversations with the movie Mother with Jennifer Lawrence.
I hate that movie.
I actually really liked it.
I think I was just like, okay.
Yeah. I think it would be an interesting double feature.
Okay, because I will never watch that movie again. Okay. I walked out of that and I said, that was a waste of my time.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, creation myth, stupid.
Okay.
Yeah. But Darren Aronofsky, he's hit or miss for me.
Yeah, he is.
Actually, hit or miss. The only hit for me is Black Swan. I hate all his other movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And after Mother, I'll never see one of his films. Oh, I saw The Whale.
I've still never seen that. I forget that it's his. Yeah. I know. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
It was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's ethics that I don't feel like I have a leg to stand on to explain, but I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I also saw Begonia.
Did you like it?
I really liked it.
Okay, me too.
I thought it was such a weirdo movie. So
weirdo
clever
movie, but like the most normal of Yorgos' movies that I've seen.
100%.
Because the other ones are kind of...
They're out there.
They're a little out there.
They're out there.
But this one, I was thoroughly entertained.
The whole entire time. Like, I could not look away.
No. And I was like, let's go. A heist, conspiracy theories.
I know. It literally had everything.
Emma Stone.
I know.
Jesse Plemons.
He's so scary and so good. My God, he's one of our best, like, most talented actors. I'm not kidding.
Didn't he come from Friday Night Lights? He was in Friday Night Lights.
That sounds correct. I think so. Yeah.
I love that for him.
I love that. Yeah, no, he terrifies me in the best way.
I know. I never saw Power of the Dog. I tried to. Sorry. Slow.
What is it about?
I don't know. I didn't finish it.
Okay.
I think it has queer overtones, undertones. I don't know. I'll watch it eventually. It just wasn't the time for me to do that.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's not.
But yeah, no, Begonia, I loved.
It's so fun. I want to see the original movie because
yes, it's
either Korean or Japanese.
Okay, yeah. And I bet that one's out there too.
I bet it is too.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how much different it is.
Yeah. And that's my thing. I just need to back to the movies. I'm going to go see that new movie, Sentimental Value, on Saturday.
I don't know which one it is.
It's a new, I might be butchering his name, I'm sorry, Joachim Trier movie. He did The Worst Person in the World. It's a new movie starring Stellan Skarsgård. It's like a family drama, and I've seen a lot of cool things about it, so I'm excited to go see it.
Yeah.
I was going to see The Running Man, but I know that'll be in theaters for a while.
Whereas I'm like, I just want to wait to see that. Yeah.
For, like, next week.
Yeah.
Because even Die My Love, hard to find a showing of it now.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
For 1 week, it was playing just, like, all the time,
and then it's gone.
I was like, great. So, but there are a lot of things on the horizon I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see Hamnet. I'm excited to see The Bride.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Marty Supreme.
I don't know which one that is.
We've talked about this. It's the Timothée Chalamet movie where he plays a ping pong superstar.
I don't know if we've talked about this because I would have remembered that.
It's I think his big Oscar pick for the season.
Interesting.
It seems like a quirky little kooky story. It's directed by one of the Safdie brothers.
Yeah.
Because they are no longer working together. Don't know what happened. Don't want to know. But I'm excited for that. I think movie season is back now.
I think so too. I've been feeling like
last year
there's something in the air. Last year was a bad movie year.
It was a meh year.
It was a bad movie year.
Like there were good movies, but nothing that was like, oh my gosh, wow.
Or like that original. And I think we're getting a lot of like original movies right now.
Are we?
I think so.
I think original, yes. I think people are going back to books as source material.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Because that's how we were doing it, and it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say they're coming from better adaptation sources now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I can't remember the last, like, truly... Oh, Sinners. I was like, last truly original? Sinners. Yeah. I'm chasing that high. Been chasing that high all year. And you know what? I'll find it in Wicked for Good.
Yeah.
It'll scratch
something that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I just want theater.
Yeah, I think you just want theater.
I just want theater. Yeah. So what have you heard? I mean, I know we just talked about a lot, but what have you heard?
Yeah. You know what I have heard?
What?
Is that Salt Lake City, Utah is giving us 2 of the most interesting reality TV shows.
That makes sense, though.
At the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, first to start off with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm not going to give any spoilers because Naveen's catching up. I'm watching currently.
Yeah, I'm on like season 2.
Yeah. If you guys are listening, I still don't want to spoil it because something so crazy is happening. Mm-hmm. So basically, some event, some like huge fight happens off camera. And there's allegedly no recordings of it because they don't film on planes, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they don't have, like, the full production crew. And so they went on a trip. They're coming back. Something happens on the plane. Mm-hmm. And it's not recorded. And so we're basically kind of thrown into the aftermath. And the majority of the women was like, this is crazy. I can't believe this is happening. They're talking it through. The people directly involved in it are saying, what are you talking about? Nothing happened. And I mean, with straight faces, they're looking at these women. The other women are looking at them like we are now. And they're saying, that didn't happen. And the other people are saying, I was there. It did happen. And they're just doubling down in the most... It's one of the most interesting things I've ever seen on TV because it's so crazy. Like, they're distorting their reality because there's no evidence. There's no evidence of it. And so... people online have been like, there's no way that there's no footage whatsoever. That one of those women didn't pull out their phones or that like someone else in first class didn't pull up their phones to see. Mm-hmm. And I think they're holding the footage. I think they're going to let this play out with how crazy it is. And I think they're editing it in a very smart way of like, here's how it plays out. And then they're going to actually show the footage and be like,
like at the reunion.
Yeah.
And have them watch it.
And that's what I hope happens. Because it's actually so crazy if it is true, which I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's true.
Because why would all these other women?
Because why would these women
all
of them collectively lie about it, except for the ones involved?
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
Okay, I'm curious. Because Salt Lake City right now, I'm in season 2. So I'm in the era of like Jen Shaw just got arrested.
Yeah.
For wire fraud. And I can't even believe that being on TV. And I can't imagine what it must have felt like to be a producer.
Oh, God, the high they must have been on.
Just this unexpected gold mine of reality TV.
Just falls in your lap, literally.
Wow.
Crazy. So, yeah, that's happening. But then also... Secret Lives of Mormon Wives also just came out.
Which I was telling you, I did not hear a single ounce of promo for it.
And yeah, I didn't either because I think I showed you the trailer. Which the trailer does show a bunch of nothing. The trailer doesn't do anything.
Because I don't actually care if Mom Talk survives. Who cares?
I know. And it's so, like, I didn't know it was coming out until yesterday when it came out, when we're recording this, obviously. And I was like, I haven't seen any promo for this. All of a sudden it was on my feed and like everyone was watching it. So I was like, okay. And so I was telling Naveen, one of the things with Mormon Wives is I wish it was weekly, because now I feel like I have to binge it just to, you know, catch up so I don't get spoilers online. So I'm about probably halfway through. But obviously there's this, you know, dilemma with like the allegations that Jesse had an affair with Marciano from Vanderpump Villa. And
of all people to have an affair.
I know. Okay. But so it's just kind of, it's following the aftermath of that. And the show, I had this critique of season 2, but the show feels so producer contrived that it's so odd to watch, because I'm watching this stuff and things are happening. I'm like, guys, this is ridiculous. Yeah. Like, the artifice is on full display. I'm like, guys, you're not even playing this off that, like...
I think they're all just acting.
They are. And I'm just like, you guys, you gotta do something else or do better. Yeah. Because it's so weird, and they're also just like, mom talk and dad talk. Dad talk, they say it 10,000 times. I'm like, guys, first of all, dad talk's not a thing. Stop trying to make it a thing. Yeah. But the way they're talking about it, they're talking about it in the same way that they do mom talk.
Okay, question. Yeah. Semantics. Mom talk, is that like mother, like mom talk, or is that like Mormon?
No, I think it's supposed to be mom, like mother. Okay. I think that's how they started it, because a lot of them were doing content of like motherhood. Okay. And I don't think it was Mormon. I think that's just you smartly putting that together. I thought that was like a little like name. Okay. No, I think it's just like mother.
Because I know the thread question throughout this entire series is, will mom talk survive? Which my response is, who gives a shit?
What the fuck does that mean?
Because my thing is like, you don't have to like everyone you work with. You have a business.
And there still is that, like, undercurrent of it. Okay. It's not as pronounced at the moment because there's just so much going on right now.
Yeah. Which I understand, like, in the first iteration of a new Housewives or any of these new series where you bring in random people together, they have to have know each other.
Point. Yeah. So it's very interesting right now, and yeah. Okay. Because, like, it does feel contrived, but there's also moments where I'm like, oh, this is actually happening. Like, this is... Okay. When I said we're correct,
you know, I wasn't planning to continue with the series because I was so bored of season 2.
I think you should watch this one. It's very interesting. And like I was telling Naveen, when I was watching it, I hate when they make me side with a man. But there's been quite a few times where I'm like, girly pops, be for real right now. Yeah. Be for real right now. I hate to say that the man is right, but sometimes they are. And so I'm curious to keep watching. I'm very curious.
Maybe I will start it because I was just like, I think I'm done with this show.
Yeah. And I am excited because it does, I'm not there yet, but after obviously like Jen and Whitney get on Dancing with the Stars, I think there's a lot of conversations between Jen and her loser husband. I can't remember his name right now. Oof. That blonde.
Zach.
That's his name, yeah. I think there's conversations happening between them and stuff like that, and obviously, if you've seen, like, Dancing with the Stars, like, I think there was a lot of issues between them where she couldn't fully let go. Because I think she was hyper aware of how they would be perceived and the stuff that he's saying to her. Because he's so freaking weird.
Yeah, he is very possessive over things like that. When she's on a reality dance show, she has to fully immerse herself into the dance.
Like, Jen had such a hard go of last season with all of her depression, like her and Zach fighting and then finding out that she's pregnant. And I feel so much for her. Like, and it was crazy. I was watching last night and I was just like, this is such a lovely girl who, without the constraints of Mormonism, would be so happy. Yeah. Because I can see the light inside of her. You could say that about every woman in Mormonism. I know, but like Jen, there's something about Jen where I'm just like, she feels so youthful and she feels so like full of light and like ready to have fun at any moment, and then it's just dulled.
Well, it's also, I think of her and, ooh, God, do not remind me of her name. Oh gosh, it's her, because she's Latina, and then Layla. I was like, Michaela? Yeah. No. They all have these names that I can't remember. But Jen and Layla, like them being like women of color. And obviously like Jen blends in much better than Layla does. But like being in such a white, capital WHITE space, like free yourselves, leave Mormonism.
It's tough. Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't serve you. No. And we were just watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and I think watching Heather's story of leaving the church and realizing the ways that she was a part of a cult, but then also like she's not like fully happy to have left. She's like heavily grieving this life that she was promised. I think that's very real. But it's also like, it's so sad to watch all these women have to go through this cult and be brainwashed by this propaganda when like, if religion is your thing, sure, but there are so many more, like there's so many other healthy ways to approach religion that don't include the amount of oppression that goes into Mormonism. Yeah.
No, so it's just like the most interesting reality TV I've watched in a long time. Yeah. And I think it does make sense that it's kind of centered around an other like Mormonism. Even in like, even though like we are a Christian nation, Mormonism is still like othered.
Yeah. Well, that's why Salt Lake City will make the best reality TV, because that shit's weird.
That's another world.
That's a different universe.
No, that's not normal Christianity.
No. Yeah. Okay, I'll give it a watch because I'm curious. Yeah. And I am curious to see the sort of behind the scenes of Dancing with the Stars stuff, if there is any.
Yeah, me too. I'll let you know.
I mean, they should
I think so too.
That's great synergy.
Because like where I am right now, it's just like been announced that they're all gonna basically audition when they're in New York for press.
For Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well. So I'll let you know.
Yeah, and also Taylor Frankie Paul, is that correct?
Taylor Frankie Paul, yes.
Is the new Bachelorette?
She is, and that's like, it hasn't been announced yet here. Okay. But I'm curious to see. I'm very curious to see Dakota's reaction and how he's going to react to that. Wow. So I'll let you know. Yeah. But yeah, what have you heard?
What have I heard? I feel like not a lot of pop culture news. Yeah. Because genuinely not being on TikTok, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah. And I'm never going back. Yeah. Because it is kind of nice. Yeah. I just find things out when I read the news. Yeah. If it makes it that far.
It never makes it that far either.
So I never have to know. Yeah. But I feel like I have been trying to get into new music for the past couple weeks because I'm like, everything just feels really blah right now.
It does.
Like everyone is churning out the same stuff. I feel like last year was such a really nice year in pop music. And this year is just kind of like, like all our heavy hitters are making really subpar work. But Rosalia is not. Is
the album out?
Yeah, it came out last week.
Oh, okay.
I've been listening to it all week. I love it. Yeah. And I love the mix of flamenco with classical and opera, and also like the influence and also feature of having Bjork on there and the influences of like a Kate Bush. I love it. She speaks like 30 languages on it. It's like... And just the instrumentation, her vocals are gorgeous. Yeah. It's such a good album.
That makes me so happy that like obviously we've talked about like our opinions on like the recent music from like you said, our heavy hitters that have just been making like really subpar shit, but like it's so nice to see someone who's like actually working at their craft and like still producing something that's like sonically different.
Exactly. And it's just wonderful, and she's exploring this album through the themes of these 4 different female saints within history, and kind of telling these stories as it relates to her own womanhood. And it's just from start to finish so gorgeous. Obviously, I am not a native Spanish speaker. Sometimes I don't know what she's saying, and I look it up afterward, and I'm like,
beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful enough that I think it transcends language barriers. It's so gorgeous. I love it, and I truly was listening to it because it made me feel so good. Because, like I said, I feel like when you get to a point of fame and, you know, wealth, I would think that you kind of have the freedom to do whatever you want. Like, you can be weird and make a weird thing. Stuff, yeah. And that's why I also have been really enjoying the snippets I've heard, because Charlie XCX is making an album, a concept album about Emerald Fennell's new movie, Wuthering Heights. And I love Charlie, have always loved Charlie, and I think after Brat, she's kind of also in a place I'm like, I can kind of do anything. Yeah. And is pushing that further of getting into like making these weird experimental vocals on this. And I really appreciate that. And
it's so fun.
Exactly. And she started a Substack, which I found really endearing about her really tapping. And she's like, I feel so creative. I feel like I really want to lean into artistry right now. Like, I have this freedom to make and experiment and try weird shit and try new things. So why not? Yeah. Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel for a quick buck. Yeah. And I really appreciate that. Like, this is not an indictment of other artists, because I just think that that takes up energy that I am no longer giving. But I really appreciate people who are like continuing to push the boundaries of what they can do.
Yeah.
And even like today fighting to get Hayley Williams tickets, but inshallah we got them. Just like even her newest album, like the lyricism and the instrumentation on that album, I think pushes her skill set even farther than it has been before. And so I really appreciate that in seeing, because music due to streaming has become like fast food and fast fashion. Like it's just churning it out like all the time. Like everybody's always on tour, and I'm going, but at some point I'm gonna have to cut it out because I can't afford it. But I know that's the only way they make money now. Yeah, because people aren't buying albums. Yeah, streaming is awful. Spotify is funding ICE. Like I can't. Yeah, can't do it. You know. So Rosalia, thank you for this. It has been so lovely to listen to this album and be like, this is a person who cares about their craft. Yeah. And
hate that that's rare-ish.
It's rare.
Yeah. But also, is it rare, or are they just smaller artists that we cannot find because of how our algorithms and our music is set up?
Yes and no. Yeah. Like, I think it is smaller artists, but it's like, even like, there are mid-tier, I wouldn't call Rosalia a mid-tier artist because I think globally she's high-tier artist. And I think that's what I want to see from the bigger artists who have the power to make that change and like propagate that. And it reminds me of recent interviews and stuff from Timothée Chalamet, and I've really appreciated it because he has kind of been like, he's like, I didn't win an Oscar, and he's like, I was sad about it. Like, I get into this field because I want to do well and I want to get the accolades and I want to be like recognized as one of the greats. And I appreciated the earnestness of being like, he's like, I didn't come here to be subpar. Yeah. And I also didn't come here to be shy about wanting to be successful. Yeah. Because like, and I know like he's a man, he's allowed to do that, but like even with women, it's like we come into a field and then we're supposed to be like, oh shucks, I guess we're just here.
I made it somehow.
You know, when like, why get into this if you don't want to be successful? Yeah. And I've been reading a lot about Jennifer Lawrence in the Die My Love sort of press tour of her being like, looking back, like, I don't know, I was so self-deprecating when, like, I wanted to do well, but you can't say that.
Yeah. She was also very young, like, during that time, and also just in an era where...
I know, but as a society, we didn't let her say that. Yeah. Women didn't let her say that. Yeah. Nobody's allowed to say that. Yeah. Like, if a woman actually expresses her desire to do well, like, she's shunned, and they're like, she's too much. We see too much of her. She's annoying. Yeah. You know, like, everyone's a victim of it. And I'm like, I'm glad you took time off. Mm-hmm. That was good for you. And I'm sad you had to do that.
Yeah. I'm glad she's back.
Yeah.
She's such an incredible actress.
I know.
Like, my God, she's talented.
I know.
She's so compelling to watch.
I know. And it's refreshing. And I am glad that the people who can act are the people that are still shining through. Yeah. Instead of all these, like, people who are coming from the internet to just like pop onto a set. Like, it's just not working for me. Yeah. And I'm glad that people recognize it. Because they don't make it to blockbusters. And I'm like, good. And I always love to see Robert Pattinson be weird, which he's so good at doing.
Not to get us off too much more, but I don't know if you've seen him and Jennifer
the lie detector test.
Yes, he's such a goofball. I love him.
No,
he's so quirky.
I saw
and
a
he's
comment
so charming.
That was like, in what instance is Jennifer Lawrence the straight man in this situation?
I know.
I was like, So I'm happy he's having fun now.
I know. Good for him. Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, but you know, crazy segue, but I'm gonna make the connection. Okay. Die My Love about mothers. We watched Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which is about fathers and mothers.
And mothers,
in a way.
Yeah.
But that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, we saw Frankenstein, 2-3 weeks ago? Yeah. At this point? Mm-hmm. Feels like yesterday.
I know.
But we were moved.
I cried.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be crying. Yeah. But Frankenstein is so meaningful to me. Yeah. It's my favorite text. It is my favorite... Bride of Frankenstein is one of my favorite films. He's my favorite, like, the creature is my favorite monster, period. Because I think that there's so much that you could, I think, particularly as a woman, in my experience, I would say there's so much you could see in the monster, in yourself, and the way that we are dismembered as, like, an object in society. Mm-hmm. But what did you think?
Yeah, no, I really liked it. Well, it's been a long time since I say a long time, it's probably been like four years since I've seen the original Frankenstein. So I've forgotten most of it.
Yes.
And I've never read the text before. But I just think Guillermo del Toro is one of the greatest directors of all time.
Yeah.
My God, can he craft a story and a narrative? He is so passionate about every single work that he does.
Yeah.
That just like automatically hooks you, and you can tell that all of it is crafted with such care.
Yeah.
And the way that he works with his actors is incredible, and it's really collaborative.
Yeah.
And like making sure that they have a voice in this and how they portray their characters is incredible. I loved it. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
And I think what I love about Guillermo's films is that they play so well with like macabre and gothic that way. You know, I know they're sometimes categorized as horror, but they're not necessarily scary. Yeah. Because there's always this undercurrent of whimsy to his movies.
There's always a beauty to it.
Because I can tell he cares.
He cares so much. I can tell
he loves those characters so much.
He's also just like, he genuinely loves film. Yeah. Like, as an art form. Like, reveres it. And it always comes through.
I know.
God, I love him.
And I know, like, that is the innate thing about directors. Like, you could say that about, like, a Quentin Tarantino. I think that man lives, breathes, eats film. But I think with Guillermo, I think that he also has an appreciation for maybe, like, feminist readings of films or feminine takes on films. And I think his proclivity towards narratives of the other and the monstrous, I think he does in such a special way that I think is really made for a female audience.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. He's a lovely man.
He's a very lovely man. I love him. Yeah. I say this as we both had discussed that we had both written essays in our undergrad about Shape of Water, eviscerating it. Yeah. Even though I love the Shape of Water.
Movie. I love the movie.
I had to write an essay. What do you want me to do?
People are not above critique.
No, we're not about critique. And sometimes, and here's my thing. You give me any movie, I'll find a way to critique.
I'll find a critique. That doesn't mean that, like, I know better.
If it's between me and an A+, I'm a rip you to shreds. Sorry.
Yeah.
But do you want to get into it? Or I can frame it. I did listen to a really great interview he did with Terry Gross on Fresh Air.
I'll let you do it.
About the film.
Go ahead.
It took a lot of
You've got your notebook. I've got nothing. I'm not going to say I have nothing. I have a little bit.
You have a master's degree.
Oh my God. Okay. You're right.
All right. Okay. So ahead of Frankenstein's release, Guillermo del Toro sat with Terry Gross, Queen. I love you, Terry, on Fresh Air and did an interview about Frankenstein and his relationship to it. And he talks about the fact that, like, monsters have always been something that he's seen himself in as this, like, other and, like, being removed from what is the dominant ideology and also dominant society. And the story of Frankenstein is kind of threaded throughout all of his films. Yeah. I want to, personally, I don't really need to talk about this on the pod. This is just for me. I want to see also, because he kind of creates this triangulation between, like, Jesus, Frankenstein, and Pinocchio. Did you ever see his Pinocchio movie?
No.
You'd love it.
I'm sure I would. I need to see it. Okay, yeah.
It's very, very good. And I can also see that as well as kind of Frankenstein. And I'm going to say Frankenstein, but going forward, when I say Frankenstein, I mean the book and maybe Victor Frankenstein. But when I talk about the monster, it's either the monster or the creature. I know people conflate the two. Right. But we'll get into that. Yeah. But seeing, like, the creature story in a lot of his films of these, like, fish out of water. Yeah. Like, put into these circumstances that they did not ask for, did not consent for, and how they move through the world and how they have to find humanity in their monstrosity. And how that kind of is a thread throughout all of his films. And he said this, and it really spoke to me about how he saw the original Frankenstein movie as a son, and now he's making it as a father. And how, like, the framing of that is so different in the way he approaches the story, because he feels like, he quote feels like Frankenstein is a parable of the prodigal father, and really viewed it as through the theme of, like, parenthood and this father-son relationship.
Which I think comes out super heavily.
Yeah, because I would say that that's probably the strongest theme in this version of Frankenstein, which comes up in other points, which was the original intention of Mary Shelley, specifically about parenthood and, like, parent-child relationships and her own anxieties about that. Because I also wanted to touch my favorite quote from the film, because I rewatched bits of it, was when the monster, played by Jacob Elordi, we'll get into his performance.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
But the monster having to flee this family who is attacking him because they misunderstand his intentions. He is shot. He seemingly dies, but the thing about the creature in this film is that he cannot die. Mm-hmm. And the monster then says, quote, "There was silence and then there was merciless life. Yeah. I felt lonelier than ever." And the idea that that's merciless life, as though life is a punishment. Haunting. And I remember in the interview, Guillermo was saying, he's like, "I'm not afraid of death." Yeah. Death is what creates the chapters in our lives. Endless life would be terrifying. Yeah. And that's something that feels so antithetical to the character of Victor, who seeks immortality and has enough of this hubris and pride to believe that he should live on through his creation.
Interesting, because I feel the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, I think Victor is the complete opposite, and all he chases is death. And I think...
Victor?
Yeah. Because that's what the monster is. The monster is death incarnate.
Yes.
He's made from all dead parts. He's miraculously reanimated. He can't die because he is death. And I've been thinking a lot about Victor and just, like, how much of a disappointment he truly is.
Yeah.
Like, to himself, to his father's legacy, which he's always been trying to outshine and stuff like that, because he's never actually done anything useful. He wanted to say, like, he could conquer death, so he created death, and he was like, oh, there's actually, I don't even have a use for this. Mm-hmm. I don't even have a use for my creation.
Well, that's really interesting you bring that up, because the reason I see it as his chasing life, because essentially, like, it is the modern Prometheus, like, Victor's trying to play God, which is, like, not what you're supposed to do.
Hey, guys, not don't supposed do to that.
Do that. And there is a great quote, and I will include, I remember it, but I am not going to attribute it correctly right now, but I'll include it in the notes, about the fact that, like, Victor is a failure in all sense. And actually, wait, this is in the introduction, I think, to Frankenstein, specifically in the anxieties about science and creation, about Victor is a failure, especially as a scientist, because not only has he failed at the reanimation experience, but he's failed at progressing the evolutionary process forward. He's actually moving it down in the evolutionary process. Yeah. So even in recreation, he's moving evolution back instead of forward.
Doing the opposite.
And I'm like...
Brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do want to start kind of with his father.
Okay. Yeah.
Because, so, I have a lot of issues with feminist theory in film. Yeah. Because I'm very tired of talking about psychoanalysis. Yeah. Even though, yes, you can find it anywhere. If you're looking for it, sure. Yeah. Because in Bride of Frankenstein, there's a great essay by Elizabeth Young about Bride of Frankenstein and the gender theory about it. Mm-hmm. And in Bride of Frankenstein, it's always this love triangle between two men and a woman. Yeah. But the thing about a woman, which also happens in Guillermo's Frankenstein as well, is that women are kind of these movable objects that come and go. Yep. That they only kind of serve as these plot devices for these men to kind of fight over their rivalry over her. Mm-hmm. And so in Bride of Frankenstein, you establish this sort of Oedipal rivalry between men. And when we talk about an Oedipus complex, it comes from the story of Oedipus. Long story short, the child now is attracted to its parent of the opposite sex, usually the mother, and sees the parent of the similar sex as competition in order to achieve the love and desire of its mother. Mm-hmm. Anyways, which honestly does show up in Guillermo's Frankenstein, because it's positing like Victor as the enemy to his father because he is so in love with his mother. Yeah. And having Mia Goth play the mother and Elizabeth, who is a love interest of Victor later, there's mommy issues galore. Yeah. And then also, like, wondering if that feeds into his desire to become a reproducer because his mother has died, so he wants to be, like, recreated in her image. Because truly, like, most feminists have looked at Frankenstein as truly, essentially a story about, first and foremost, and this is in the Cambridge Companion to the works of Mary Shelley, it's first and foremost a book about what happens when a man tries to procreate without a woman. Mm-hmm. It doesn't go well.
Yeah. You just said a lot there.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. But it was like I had thoughts and then you kept going.
I know. Listening. You can stop me because
No, it's okay. I'm trying to... I don't even know.
Well, let's go back to what you were saying about how all Victor can create is death. Mm-hmm. And how that feels almost like the male intervention of reproduction. Of when it is only a man, it can never breathe true life, because as a scientist who has only studied the craft of anatomy, physiology, there is no humanity to what he is studying.
No.
And Richard King, I'm so sorry I keep quoting
No, it's okay.
But I think this will give you fodder. But Richard King wrote a book, I'm pretty sure Here is Monster. It's basically about technoscience and how without a useful integration of humanities work and humanities study, we are simply just creating monsters that will eat us alive and cannibalize us.
Yeah.
Which I think we can end the conversation with how this relates to AI. But that basically Victor is a product of an incomplete education, so the focus on the sciences instead of a thorough study of humanity, and this causes him to have a, quote, mechanistic and reductive view of humanity, which I think relates to this, like, male idea of recreation, that there is this one ideal where women are forced to view the human as whole, whereas, like, Victor is viewing it as, like, parts.
As parts that he can put together, and he doesn't like the whole.
No.
He doesn't like the whole.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
We need to start parenting our kids. No, but, like, I'm thinking about just, like, his relationship with his father and his dad being absent.
Yeah.
His dad is absent, and I think that's probably one of the reasons he hates him so much. Obviously, his father is just a bad person anyway, but, like, he abandons him. Mm-hmm. And so he doesn't learn... It's really interesting how he's learning masculinity by the void of his father, because he's around his mother, and so there was, in another world, he could have been the loveliest person alive, because his mother is meeting him with compassion and love and understanding, which, you know what, may not have been the greatest, because I'm sure there's some blending of and conflation from her side too, of like, my husband's absent, my son is here.
Yeah.
You know, and putting so much, like, emotional...
Yeah. The collapse of the roles.
Yeah, and so I think that is a part of it, too. But just, like, the way that Victor viscerally hates his father, which, you know what, may be founded. He was very abusive.
Yeah.
But it's also just, like, he is set down this path because he, at his core, believes that his father let his mother die. And, like, purposely let her go.
Yeah.
And Victor sees it as a failure for her to die. So, like, yeah, it makes sense why Victor's so obsessed with death and, like, reincarnating that. Because also another really great thing that Guillermo del Toro does is, like, the use of the color red and how red signifies his mother and how much of a woman's existence is blood. You know, and just, like, the violence that occurs in women's body just, you know, on the monthly basis. But then, like, also I was thinking about this, actually, not to go back to Die My Love, but I've been thinking about childbirth a lot, and just like how women are we're the closest to death during childbirth, and we're bringing another life in. And so it's just like Victor seeing his brother come into this life while his mother is also taken away, and his father's fine with it.
Yeah.
His father's like, great, I got a little blonde boy now that looks like me.
Yeah.
And
it's the closest we get to death that we willingly submit to over and over again. Yeah.
Over and over again.
And that we treat so dismissively. Like, I've always found it really weird that after most major surgeries you take, like, enough time, like, you're not required to get back to work, you're not supposed to do any of that, but, like, this is something where you're supposed to just be back at it.
Take care of your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I was thinking about this, why I brought up the red and the use of red in the film. It was like, after his mother passes, you see bits of red on Victor a lot. Like, I think he has, like, red gloves. There's always red on his, like, outfits and stuff like that. And the more and more he gets consumed with the idea of death and reanimating death, that red goes away.
Yeah.
Because he's far away from his intention of, like, I want my mother back. And I want to find a way that, like, I could possibly be with her again, because it no longer becomes about that. Like, once he's farther removed from the goodness of his mother, he just completely turns into his father.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's also prevalent in the way he treats his monster. And you see when Victor's young and is, like, being forced by his father to study medicine because that is what his father's chosen for him to do.
Yeah.
Like, wraps him, like, over the knuckles, or no, on his face, because he said his hands are his moneymakers. Yeah. So hits him in the face and just, like, physically abuses him, and then you see Victor turn around and do the exact same thing with the monster.
Yeah.
that he created. He created his monster, forgot that he had to, like, actually do work once he was successful, and, like, does the same thing as his father, and it's just, like...
I mean, isn't that what most men do? They want to have kids, but they don't want to take care of them.
Yeah, and I know that's one thing we talked about, like, right after, just, like...
I feel like that's, like, not as far as it can go, but, like, that's something, we thought of.
Yeah, it's just, like, the horrors of creation in the hands of men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they're not wanting to... They're wanting to create something. They're not wanting to, like, build something long-lasting.
Yeah.
And that's why he tries to kill the monster. Like, almost immediately, he's like, you know what? This kind of seems like a lot of work. What if he just died?
Yeah.
What if I just left?
Yeah.
You know, like, he spent his whole life working at this.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did it, and he felt empty because it didn't mean anything. He just wanted to do what he could.
Yeah, and I think that's also where I was also tying this in to parenthood, which I've always thought is a selfish choice but a selfless act. Mm-hmm. And the idea of creating the monster is selfish because you want to create something in your image. You want to create this legacy that lives beyond you. Like, all of his choices up to that point were about him.
Yeah.
And if you think about his mother, loving his mother, but the way she treated Victor. Yeah. Like, Victor is at the center of all his intentions and actions, which is why he is a horrible father. Because he is just as selfish as his own father. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's,
And I was thinking when you brought up kind of blood and the kind of horrors of being a woman, because the female experience is all about mutilation, dismemberment, and kind of, it's all about bodily waste. And it made me think of Barbara Creed has written about, like, the monstrous feminine, and then kind of is in conversation with Julie Kristeva's idea of abjection. Yeah. An abjection being anything that disturbs the identity, system, and order of the world, specifically the symbolic order, which, yes, is more so a concept of psychoanalytics and Freud, which is just kind of like the dominant order, like, what is the status quo, and that the feminine is seen as an abjection that disturbs identity, system, and order. And the first kind of key figure of abjection is actually the mother, who becomes abject at the moment when the child rejects her in favor of the father. And that is the keeping of the status quo. That's the keeping of the symbolic order. So you could argue kind of within Frankenstein and specifically Guillermo's film, Victor is rejecting the father. So is rejecting the symbolic order, but still kind of following it through and mimicking it. Yeah. And so it's almost like he can't escape the cyclical nature.
The cycle of it,
because
he truly thinks in the same way.
Yeah. And it makes me think about sort of nature versus nurture, but, like, can we truly break from generational cycles, and what are the actual, like, instigators and interventions that have to happen to break us away from the cyclical kind of predestined path that we have to end up just like our parents.
Right.
Yeah. Because no matter what he did, he thought he was acting in good faith.
But did he, though?
I mean, you could say that about a lot of things. People think they're think they're saving people. Yeah. But they're really just doing things for them. Yeah. You could say that about any tech billionaire who, in their mind, maybe they have convinced themselves that, like, oh, these people don't get it. They're complaining, but I'm going to help them. It's all going to be good for everyone. I do believe a lot of them are just, like, evil. Yeah. But people who start with the intention of, like, doing good, but then quickly become coerced by evil forces. Well, because I was also thinking about this. Because I found a really great opinion piece from Karen Rinaldi that was titled, "Motherhood Isn't Sacrifice, It's Selfishness." That was all about her issues with calling being a mother a job. Because she was like, I don't see it as a job. I see it as a privilege, because the reason we call it a job is to legitimize it. Yeah. 100%. Is to make it, like, real for people. Yes. But truly, like, if there was selflessness to the act, we wouldn't see ourselves in it as much as we do. It is selfish, but she didn't say this, but I argue that selfishness actually doesn't have morality to it.
No, it's not inherently negative.
It's not inherently negative. It's just like, you are at the center of this choice.
Yeah, you're always making selfish decisions.
Yeah, because if you think about it, you saying, I deserve to pass on my genes for generations to come to proliferate throughout society, hey, that's a little selfish, and that's okay. Yeah. Because she also made a good argument about how the reason like we get so tied up and like we get so cagey about calling it selfish or anything is because technically, as much as it is selfish, it's also kind of in debt to society. Yeah. To keep the population going. Yeah. And it feels like a public service when really it shouldn't be. And she was like, we should call it selfish to give women more autonomy. Like it is about them. It's not about anyone else. Yeah. Like, why are people touching pregnant people's bellies in public?
Yeah, it's really strange.
I would slap somebody.
I know.
And so I thought that also related to the argument of kind of how, again, the narcissism that Victor has is like he's making all these huge sacrifices. He has given up so much to do this experiment. Like he doesn't have a life. He doesn't have a family. Yeah. He truly gives up Elizabeth if he really wanted her. He could have really wiggled his way in there. Yeah. Gives that all up because he's like, I'm doing this for society and to revive my mother. I'm like, okay.
Okay, sure.
Sure
you are.
Yeah. But it's truly like the opposite of him is Elizabeth. Mm-hmm. Which I think we should touch on in terms of she is kind of this pseudo mother figure. And Elizabeth in this iteration is the fiance of his brother William. Yeah. In the original book and maybe in the James Whale 1931 movie, but William is a younger brother of Frankenstein, Victor Frankenstein. And did any water spill?
No, it's okay.
Okay, cool.
I knocked my water over. It's fine, though.
All right. And William is a child, and that is the monster's first victim. So, okay. So the monster kills William, but then the monster kind of makes it seem like one of their servants had killed William. But in this version, Elizabeth is William's fiance, and God bless William, really is trying to help Victor the whole trying his best. He's just like, you freak me out, you scare me, but I just want you to do well, and I want you to like keep doing what you're doing. Which is also,
again, an interesting like nature versus nurture, because he was raised by the same father, but they had two different upbringings. Yeah. You know? Like, he was raised with love from his father. Mm-hmm. But it also is, I think, speaks to his spirit in and of himself that he doesn't turn out the way his father did. Because he saw his father and how he treated Victor. And he also saw, like, his father got ahead, you know, in life before they lost all their money. But, like...
Well, I would argue that William probably wasn't as privy to it because he was young when the father died.
Oh, you know what? Yeah,
he was young when the father died. A lot younger. But I think it's an interesting dichotomy between Victor saw the kindness in his mother and didn't replicate it. Yeah. William saw the kindness in his father and did. Whereas Victor just replicated the evil in his father. So both of them are still taking from the father. Yeah. Kind of rendering the mother irrelevant either way. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have something to share?
Yeah. No, I was actually going to let you keep continuing what you have with Elizabeth, because I just have I found an interesting article.
Yeah, it was basically going back to Elizabeth Young's essay on, like, gender theory about how, like, women are constantly used as a plot device. And I do think that happens in Guillermo's film. And that would be one of my two critiques about it, and I'll get into the second in a little bit, about how Elizabeth is shown to be what humanity could be. She sees the holistic being. Yeah. Her whole thing is noticing tiny, like, overlooked things, like the bugs and the insects that she finds very beautiful. Yeah. And even she has this innate connection to the monster, and they immediately have this, like, kind of just, like, love or maybe just, like, mirrored they see themselves in each other as two people who are overlooked and, like, shopped around by society. But I do think it's interesting that, like, she is still kind of used as a plot device that is the object of some man, including the monster as well. Because he's just like, I want to mate. This was the one woman that was nice to me. Like, I want to be with her. And even though the monster is someone that is worlds more sympathetic in this film with Guillermo, and that you can see the similarities between him and, like, a woman and their same struggles, it still kind of, like, is in service to this male desire. You know, like, even, like, when she dies, you see the red come back when she's bleeding out. And I forget what she says to him when she dies, but it's very beautiful. And it's kind of, like, going on this rampage against Victor for the death that he's caused.
Yeah. So I have an opposite take on that, and the way that Elizabeth functions is because, like, I don't feel any romantic attraction between, like, the monster and her.
Yeah.
I think it's very much more the maternal aspect of, like, she sees him and what he can be. And she's the first and only person that takes the time to nurture him. And I was thinking about, like, the first time that she sees him and meets him, they both just kind of look at each other and observe for so long. And then she's, like, touching his hands, like, you know, they're just, like, kind of, like, physically exploring each other, but without a sexual element, of more to, like, curiosity and, like, an understanding of each other. And it's just, like, the dichotomy of, like, how Victor treats him. He's just like, you're fucking stupid, like, you can only see Victor when Victor's his whole world. He doesn't know anything other than Victor. And within, like, however long, the first time Elizabeth meets him, because she, like, talked to him, you know, as, like, a mother would a child, of just, like, narration and talking, like, he learns her name when he's not said a single word this entire time. And he says it with her. And so I was thinking about the scene where she's at they're at their wedding and they're with William. And correct me if I'm wrong when I'm remembering this, but she dies protecting him because Victor, because Victor was going to shoot him, the monster, which she also wouldn't have done anything. The monster would have still been there if Victor had been paying attention. And Elizabeth steps in front of him and takes the bullet for him. And I feel like she has an understanding that, like, this was always going to kill her. In one way or another, the Frankenstein family was always going to be her end. Because there is, like, a resignation of, like, even her marrying William. Like, she doesn't love him, you know? Like, she may, like, care for him, but she doesn't truly love him. And she understands her place as a woman and someone who is outside of the norm of womanhood, of just, like, being very of the earth, being very, like, loving bugs, loving, like, the environment, thinking very critically about things, and knowing that she will never be taken seriously. And that it will slowly kill her. And then, so the article I wanted to bring up, and I need to read it a little bit more, because I also just love the title. It's called A Lovely Load, an Archetype. By Douglas W. Cooper. So I'm just going to quote a little bit of, like, two of the passages that I found. So, beginning with the silence and lasting up to our day, the monsters that slouched across the screens of our movie theaters have enacted one central scene which has been burned on our retinas until it assumes the nature of an archetype. It is the image of a monster carrying in his arms the unconscious body of a beautiful woman. But its meaning becomes strangely transmogrified when we see on the screen a hideous creature bearing away his beautiful prize. That tender relationship becomes monstrous when beasts of lust stalk through these films as expressions of love gone wrong. And I think this is something that Guillermo del Toro does very well to turn on its head. Because it does feel so maternal, and that she is sacrificing for him because she loves him. And she sees herself in him, and she sees the new creation that he is. And she's trying to protect him. And one thing I kind of was jotting down when I was reading this was, like, with that archetype of, like, you know, like, the monster carrying the woman with the intention to defile her. In, you know, most monster films, I wrote, like, this kind of sexual violence is nullified because Guillermo does such a great job of painting this in the picture of a maternal love. And she dies protecting him. He carries her out, not of desire, but reverence. As she's dying, she's still alive at this point. He takes her out in front of all these people. And it feels like a death processional. In a way that, like, none of these people are actually going to care about what happens to him, what happens to her. They're all there for a party, and he takes her to a secluded cave so, like, they can be together for her last moments. Because he cares for her.
The reason I still see it as romantic, because it's in the Gothic tradition. That this scene, especially when Elizabeth dies, is when she is finally expressing that true desire to be with the monster and be seen as whole. That's when violence breaks out, because she's breaking the symbolic order. And so with the monster, the first time they meet, I think that there is still a desire there in the way that they are ogling and sharing a look of each other's bodies and forms. Because I think they can both resonate with each other in the ways that they were both crafted to look a certain way. They both have to look a certain way. and it's kind of mirrored in each other. And the dissatisfaction she gets from both of the men that are in her life, both William and, oh my God, Victor.
Yeah.
And that despite Victor's passion, she's still so unstimulated until she sees the monster and, like, has this light in her eyes. Mm-hmm. And I think that, I don't think it's inherently sexual, because the monster doesn't strike it. It's not painted in the same sexual way that it does in previous iterations, which is, like, great.
Yeah.
But I think in the last sentence, I think that there is love there of, like, she's like, this is who I was truly supposed to be with. She's like, I wish I could die, you know? Mm-hmm. And, like, death would be the sentence I want. And I think that also in, like, Gothic, like, because most of Gothic literature, the masterpieces of the genre are either written by queers, or women, and specifically, like, homosexual men and bisexual men. If I'm thinking of Bram Stoker for Dracula, Matthew Lewis for Monk, Matthew Lewis for Monk, and then William Beckford's Vathek, all written by bisexual homosexual men, kind of responding to compulsory heteronormativity. Yeah. And I think that also with the monster, like, yes, a man, but you could also argue, like, the monster is, like, a queer form of human.
I was thinking that too.
And, like, the queering of this love and this desire, and, like, her desire to break away from the life that she's been given, and that death would be, like, actually, it's not adversity. Death would be a subversion of what she's been given. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I also think that's very formative for the monster, where he's just like, I want to die. Like, you created me, you left me alone, and I can't die. I can't make a friend because I look the way I do. Yeah. You won't build me a companion. Yeah. Because even when he's asking for his companion, he's not asking for a lover. He literally wants to like not be alone. To talk to. Yeah. He says, I do not want to be alone. Because he's seen so much death. And yeah. But I do love the way we kind of follow the creature. The monster.
It's either one.
I know. I do love that we follow him as he discovers the outside world for the first time. I think it's one of the most beautiful ones is when the monster is kind of waking up after escaping from Victor's home. And he's just, like, kind of in the tide pools, and he's just, like, standing and looking around, and just, like, it hurts my heart because, like, for all intents and purposes, that is a juvenile. Like, he doesn't know anything other than that damp, dark basement and pain. Yeah. And he's, like, discovering and looking at the world around him for the first time, interacting with animals who aren't afraid of him, and who are just, like, loving. And then to be doing that and then be immediately re-met with violence when that deer is shot in front of him. Yeah. And him just, like, learning about the world through the lens of such violence, and, like, never being an active participant. Yeah. Because he learns to, like, read and, like, learns language by, like, hiding out and listening to this family when, like, there's never been anyone to show him another way except for Elizabeth, who was violently taken away from him. Yeah. And so he just inherently understands that violence is a part of life.
First thing I'll say, it reminds me of a quote from Wicked, which I'm reading right now, which Elphaba rebukes the idea of her being a humanitarian for the cause of the animals, because she's like, I've seen what humans are capable of, and it's pure evil. Why would I want to be a humanitarian? Two, this really speaks to Jacob Elordi's performance.
My God.
He's so good.
Incredible talent.
Just the way he carries himself. I know Andrew Garfield was slated to originally be the preacher. I think he would have been great, but I think that the stature that Jacob brings, I think, helps add to the role.
Yeah, well. I saw a video of Guillermo del Toro kind of talking about the change from Andrew Garfield to Jacob Elordi. And he's, God, I just love him so much. I love listening to his perspectives on anything. But he was like, I think this saved our film. And he's like, I don't think that it was right or wrong. I think, like, maybe if Andrew Garfield was here, maybe we would have had an accident. Like, maybe something would have gone on in the film. And he was like, I see this as a progression in life. Like, I'm not going to say, like, he was the wrong choice, because he was the right choice. Mm-hmm. And Jacob was also the right choice. Yeah. And so he has a really interesting way of, like, thinking about the sequence of events and, like, how things happen. And they're truly happening for a reason. Yeah. But then also I saw a video of Jacob talking about his performance, and he studied... I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I don't even remember what it was, but it's this very specific style of dance that's basically based on the reanimation of a corpse and really learning to, like, isolate your body in certain ways. And my God, like, I think we talked about this right after we saw this, but, like, this is a career-changing performance for him. Yeah. Like, this is solidifying him as someone who can, like...
Yeah.
Who is like has the potential and is a great actor and will have a very fantastic career.
That's the salient note in all the criticism, that his performance is impeccable.
Yeah.
He really does so much like body work in order to create the monster, because yes, you can put him up in as much makeup as possible. The way he isolated each muscle and bone.
The way he uses his like eye contact and the story that he can tell being nonverbal for most of the film.
Yeah. And also like, I mean, it does speak to the fact like he has very youthful eyes.
Yes. Yeah.
That like convey so much sadness so easily, but so much joy so easily. And
he's just incredible.
He's an incredible actor. Like, I know he's good looking, but he's really
he's very talented. Yes.
And I loved his performance, especially as a foil to Oscar Isaac as Victor, and of sort of this like hurried, like frantic, frenzied sort of Victor, which I also loved seeing, because I think I rewatched Bride of Frankenstein today. And Colin Clive is who plays Victor in the original James Whale movies. And I feel like I get sort of mad scientist, but not in a realistic way. And obviously it's the 1930s, so never going to feel as realistic as now. Yeah. But I feel like Oscar Isaac played it with a little bit more nuance, especially because we are having this framing narrative of them retelling their stories and him realizing the folly of his character, which you don't see often in many of those films, and you often don't see the sort of catharsis of watching them reconcile and the forgiveness of father and son, which I think leads to my second critique. It's not a real critique because I love the movie so much, and I think if it had gone the other way, I would have felt like unsettled. But the one thing that I had read in kind of going through critiques that I was like, I could see that as well, is because in the book and also in all the previous movies, the monster is not this like 100% good figure. Right. Like, because he is not aware of the rules of the world, he does like enact evil. He kills William in the original book, which makes him a much more complex, nuanced character than Jacob Elordi's version, which I think might be just because for this era of Frankenstein, it makes a lot more sense to have the monster have this childlike wonder to him, and he's really learning as he goes. Yeah. But it is kind of interesting to see that, like, in a similar way that Victor grew up with a harsh father, but a good image of a mother, that's the same way the monster grew up, but then took more towards Elizabeth than he did Victor.
Yeah, and I also do think that that's, as much as we can put on Elizabeth, like, he does learn the most.
The blind man.
From the blind man.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about that a lot, too, of just, like, the reason he is able to connect with that man so much is because of the man's disability. Because he's blind, he truly cannot see him for the monstrous what he is. And so it's also like, one, the blind man had to like relearn how to connect with the world without having this like without having a sight, and like has to truly work to understand people when you can't read their body language. And then you have the monster who is just like cannot be anything other than earnest. He doesn't know to lie. He doesn't know to like what parts of himself to hide from an internal point, because he's always just been judged by based on what he looks like. And he does learn masculinity from him. And from him teaching his children, and like at the same time teaching him. And that's when he's like, I want to provide for this family who has given me so much, even though they don't even know he's there. But he truly just feels such gratitude for finally feeling safe at one time. And then that's ripped away from him because the wolves kill him. And even, I think even the monster says it. He's like, I learned that day that, like, this isn't the wolves' fault. Like, they're being wolves. They're being what is in their nature. Just the same way as, like, me killing them might just be my nature. And so it's a very, like...
It's the first time he's not punished for being.
And then, obviously... he's then again punished for being once the other family comes home and mistakenly think that the monster, attacked him. And it's just like, he has a very interesting understanding of violence as a necessity sometimes. And it's not like, I'm not doing this with malicious intent. Like, even when he's killing the soldiers that are, like, shipwrecked. Yeah. He's not doing it to, like, hurt them, you know?
It's a means.
It's a means, because he has to get to Victor.
And violence is the language of the human world.
That's the only way they'll understand. He could have sat there and talked to the cows come home, and they wouldn't have done, like... Yeah. No one would have met him.
Humans are an inherently violent species.
They were afraid of him, and that's why he got so far.
Exactly.
And you were talking about this before of just, like, Victor coming to terms with, like, how bad of a father he was, but, like, that's truly only because he was near death. Yeah. This whole time, he's been chasing the monster, trying to, like, kill him. And the monster's been goading him because he wants him to be close to death. So he can be like, you can experience what I'm feeling all the time. Because he is a creature of death. Yeah. He will always be a creature of death. And it made me sad, too, like, after Victor died. Like, obviously he forgives him. Which I'm like, you know what? Maybe you should have been a little bit more pissed off. Yeah, maybe you should have been a little more angry. Him a little more quickly. But it's just like, I was imagining the monster of just like, okay, so like everyone I've truly known is dead. And I've only been alive for like 2-3 months. Yeah. I will never die. Yeah. So now I just have to keep going. Knowing that I am always going to encounter violence. Yeah. Because of how I look. I will never be able to integrate into society. I will never have someone who sees me in the exact same way because all those people knew him from the time he was born, you know? So like he truly has no one and yet will have to persist.
Yeah, and he has no reason to be kind. He has no reason to be good. Yeah. And that's where it is a little unrealistic, the way it ends. But I'm choosing to just let it happen.
You know what? It's a monster movie.
It's fine. Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking, because I was reading through a lot of things, and I remember that Paradise Lost is a poem that the monster learns. Yeah. Because I do like that this version of Frankenstein gets back to allowing the creature to be intelligent. Yeah. Because I feel like he's always just like this barbaric, like, eat brains. And I'm like, no. Like, he learns things. Yeah. And there's this really wonderful quote that kind of ties together, like, the monster's ending and also, like, what I talked about with, like, parenthood and selfishness as sacrifice. And the quote from Paradise Lost is, like, Adam speaking to, you know, God of, did I request thee, maker, from my clay to mold me man? Did I solicit thee from darkness to promote me? And the idea of, like, how can I consent to the harshness of this human experience when I had no say in this? Yeah. And you expect me to be grateful. Yeah. And I think that's what I left with, of just the idea of consenting to that violence that he now has to wake to every day. Yeah.
And there's no escape of it.
There's no escape.
Wow.
Yeah. That's all I have, honestly.
I think that's all I could probably say. I think we could probably say more, but I don't think we need to. No. It's just, it's a fantastic film. Yeah. If you can, try to see it in theaters. But obviously it's on Netflix. Watch it whatever way you can. Yeah. It's just an incredible story. If you've not watched more of Guillermo del Toro's work, definitely should. Yes.
Oh my God, yes. Pan's Labyrinth is a great one to start with.
Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth is my favorite films ever.
It's so good. But yeah, no, Guillermo's for the girlies.
He is for the girlies, and he loves the girlies.
He does.
He loves a girl.
That came out a little odd.
I know. I didn't mean for it to come out odd. He just loves women. He is such a reverence for women.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. We'll always foreground them. Yeah. Well, we'll always foreground the experiences that might be universal to women. Yeah. But I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I have.
I think that's all I've heard too. Wow. Amazing. I want to watch it again.
Me too. Well, we'll catch you next time when we talk about something else.
We're going to talk about something else. We don't know what. Yeah. But it'll probably be fun.
Hopefully.
Okay.
All right.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.